Hi, good afternoon, everyone from Juneau, Alaska. I'm McHugh Pierre. I'm the president and CEO of Gold Belt Incorporated. Welcome to our fall or early winter shareholder update. You know, we do a couple of webcasts every year, and we've been refining these to make sure everyone can receive the information with the best of their abilities. And we really welcome your feedback. So as you watch, as you click through and learn about what Gold Belt's doing, make sure that we know how it went for you. Please let us know if it was easy, if it was difficult, if there was glitches, if there was not. We want to make this as informational and as accessible as possible. Stick around. You know, at the end, I always love taking questions from shareholders. It's so much fun to answer your questions and get the message out about what Gold Belt's doing to shareholders through all of our means of communication. Additionally, we have 5 $100 cash prizes for shareholders who have logged on and are watching and participating. So look for your name at the end. Of course, if you had to log off and you qualified, we will put the list of winners on social media as well. Well, let's jump into the slides. I expect this will be about 30 minutes. You know, we go back and forth, have questions and answers, and we're going to talk about a few different items today on the agenda. First and foremost is the distribution to shareholders, which you saw as $10. But then we'll talk about some business updates, some shareholder benefit updates, and some important dates in the future for you to consider so you can maximize participation in Gold Belt activities. Next slide, please. So I think this is the exciting information to share. The board of directors approved a $10 distribution through the Tana Distributions Trust to shareholders in November. That's really exciting for us. You can see that our business performance has been paying off. We are continuing to generate income that allows for increasing benefits year over year over year. I think it's important to look at 2021 is a $7 distribution, but remember we gave a special $7 distribution that year as well. So we did have $14 in total distributions, but our regular distribution that year was $7. So you can see we're tracking this from a traditional operation standpoint and not including the special distribution. But I think it's really good. We're consistently performing. Our benefits are working. And why are we doing that? I think that's important for us to ask why. Your board of directors set a strategy in motion. We met, we built a strategic plan. We are executing that plan. And some of the basis of that plan is making sure that we endow the benefits that shareholders receive. You see, as the directors were reviewing our business operations and we were working together to come up with an achievable plan, one of the foundational elements of that was the fact that operations in the current year fund benefits, and that's extremely risky. If our operations don't perform, then your benefits aren't there. So what do we do to build operations so we have consistent and dependable income for benefits, but also how do we generate additional income to endow those benefits? And your board has really set us on a positive track. The board of directors have done a great job and have worked with the management team, and we've been able to achieve results as the board viewed and expected and as shareholders have asked for. So we're extremely proud of where we're at. Next slide, please. So you can see here the Tana Distributions Trust 2021 incorporates that special dividend in. So you can see the $4.5 million contributed. You established this. You voted for this in 2019. And I remember going around to the different community meetings and talking about the benefits. Now, we talked about distributions first, how that was going to be an immediate impact and the tax savings. But we also talked about how we'd run scholarships through that and an elder benefit. Well, let's talk about the distributions first. You can see here, we've contributed a total of $13.4 million from Gold Belt Inc. to the Tana Distributions Trust. And that's allowed tax-free distributions to go to shareholders. And you've saved as a group an estimated $2.4 million in federal income tax. That's like a whole nother dividend over 5 years. That's pretty awesome that we've achieved that type of financial impact for shareholders in such a short amount of time. You know, if you have young people in your house, or if you're looking at changing your education or maybe your career, you've considered how you can use the different benefit programs and the scholarship opportunities that Gold Belt offers. Those are now being run through the Tanah Trust. And all of those activities are administered in-house at Gold Belt Inc. and through a trust employee, and it's going so well. We're really delivering services in a controlled fashion to Gold Belt shareholders, and we look to do the next step, and that's building out a potential elder benefit. And the board has currently asked management to put some plans together, and all of these benefits are eligible for endowment, right? We use the Gold Belt Ancestral Trust in collaboration with the Tanah Trust, and we're able to endow and make contributions that provide you tax-free benefits, but it also gives a tax savings to Gold Belt Inc. And that's critically important for our business. Next slide, please. And this is why. So we talk about taxes and the position that the Gold Belt incorporated businesses are in. And as a whole, we've done extremely well. We've been able to double the size of the business in the last couple of years. And with that success, we've used up all of our net operating losses from the logging industry days. So we have to be creative to use these trusts to offset our federal taxes. If we're able to invest in you and not pay taxes, that's really like a double win for shareholders, as we allow Gold Belt Inc. profits to work for you more often and really pay less to the federal government. We talked about the plan that we were on and how the board of directors set us up for a strategic plan to grow. And you can see how that happened. We took advantage in the pandemic of being a professional, nimble organization that solves problems for our customers. And we took on tremendous product sales growth, but we knew that was one-time sales that could not be repeated. And that was lower margin sale, just based on the volume of the business. What we've done, and what I told you we would do, is we would fill that gap with reliable services contracts that are higher margin and higher skill work. And as a result, it provides more profit for you. And you can see that's exactly what happened. So even though our profit dipped in 2022, it's going up to what we predict to be a record net income year for Gold Belt Inc. And that's really impressive. And we want to continue this trajectory. And we believe we have a strong plan to do that by leveraging our successes, what sets us apart, and allowing us to build and continue to provide professional services to all of our customers, whether it's in the tourism industry, commercial industry in Alaska, or to the federal government around the country or overseas. Next slide, please. And that leads us right into some of our business issues. With our federal contracting businesses, we've been monitoring potential government shutdown and the impact that it could have on Gold Belt Inc. business. And I have to tell you, in years past, we were in a much less advantageous or protected position. This year, we are in a much stronger position. Our cash reserves are strong. Our businesses are very integral to what the federal government does. And I think COVID allows us to kind of test that model. Most all of our federal contracting business was considered essential during COVID, and it maintained its performance. And so even as we look at potential government shutdowns, a lot of the business that is essential, deemed essential, continues to be funded and continues to operate. And we feel that we're in a good place to, no matter what Congress does, ride out that storm. The other element that we're looking at is what are current court challenges to the 8A certification process going to do to our business moving forward. I think it's important for us that we identify that ANCSA provides us with an ability to perform federal contracting services, and that is in law. It's not a regulation. It is something that Congress created and will allow us access. But this easy button and this entrance into the system is not what separates us anymore. Our professionalism, our reputation in the market, our ability to provide high-level, high-caliber services to the federal government allows us to be a unique player, a standalone entity that has a reputation beyond just an easy button for our federal contracting partners. And so I'm excited for our future, and I believe that we will continue to be on the right side of receiving 8A certification and eligibility. And even if we have some short-term gaps, I think we're going to have long-term success. But what are we going to do to mitigate those short-term gaps? What we're proposing is we're working collectively with the SBA to bring forward a greater number of business applications in this calendar year and next calendar year. So we have a deep bench and we have a lot of runway to fill the voids that we may have with any of our businesses as they mature and perform and perhaps exceed expectations and early graduate from the program. So bottom line up front, the future of federal contracting is bright for Gold Belt, and we're very excited to report on that. Next slide, please. So with that success in federal contracting, the Gold Belt Inc. Board of Directors has made it very clear to you as shareholders and to management that we are going to take that income and we are going to reinvest in Alaska. And we have done just that. This year is the largest year of investment in Alaska since the tram was built. And I think that's phenomenal. So we've invested using not cash, but our balance sheet to expand and provide and produce healthy growth for the business. $10 million for a revenue sharing agreement at Eagle Crest, $4.8 million for a new catamaran to serve Southeast, and also $2.5 million for a warehouse building to help improve our business operations and allow us to grow, whether it's busing services or boating services, and allow us to stack those businesses and produce higher profits across multiple business streams for Gold Belt Inc. You know, that $18 million investment is tremendous. And it's really important to know that we're not leveraging cash to do that. We're leveraging our balance sheet. And why is that important? We need our cash every year to produce benefits for you. And if we use that up in a way that combats our ability to produce benefits, that's not good. So we're able to balance the business performance of using our cash for shareholder needs while also investing in new businesses and providing opportunities for increased income and greater benefits in the long run. Next slide, please. And one of those greater benefits is endowing a distributions trust or some type of a permanent fund for you. Gold Belt Inc. created the Ancestral Trust in 2014. And since then, it produced $24.4 million of income. Of contributions Gold Belt Inc. has given to the Ancestral Trust. And you can see that in the last 2 years, that's where 21 million of that 24 million has come from. So it's this recent business success that the board has been able to apply those results to long-term benefits for you. And why does that matter? So you just saw the Sea Alaska announcement about your 7I distribution. As you know, as an urban corporation, that money doesn't go to Gold Belt. It goes directly to you as shareholders. It doesn't even pass through Gold Belt. And we know that there's about 7 years left in that program. So $3.90 per share, your shares is from 7I money. And if that dries up, what are you receiving? Well, we believe that with a prudent endowment and a prudent investment structure, that you will receive $5 or more per share starting in 2025 from the Ancestral Trust. And so that's a contribution that we can make, and then a maturation and a distribution that you can count on from the trust forever. And we're really excited about that. And that will allow consistent spring benefits as well as consistent fall benefits, because our operations will produce fall benefits, your investment and endowment will produce spring benefits, and Gold Belt shareholders will be overall better supported by the company and not as dependent on single year business operations. Next slide, please. So what are the benefit summaries? We produce over $5 million in benefits for shareholders every year. And I think it's important that we talk about total dollar amounts because when you combine this $5 million with $10 million invested in the trust, that's $15 million. And over the last 3 years, we've contributed 50 to 75% of the net income in shareholder benefits annually. And that's tremendous for any business. And I think that's a real testament to the directors. Your board of directors has said, hey, the priorities at Gold Belt are making sure that we earn enough money to produce benefits for shareholders consistently. And your management team has lived up to that call, and we're proud to do it. In fact, it's a motivating factor for Gold Belt Inc. employees around the world, knowing that we're working for something greater than any one person or the stock market or some institutional investor. We're working for you, and it feels good. It feels good to do something positive for the community, for our shareholders, and to really make a difference in Juneau and Southeast Alaska. So as you look through what access to benefits you might have, I think it's important to go to your mygoldbelt.com, check everything out, stay on top of all of your options. Make sure to share those discoveries with your friends and family, because we want everyone to participate. I hear from people still that they say, well, I don't really need it. Someone else can use it. No, we work for everyone to use it. There is enough for everyone. We want everyone to use their benefits. Get as much as you can. That's why we're here, and that's why we're working. And so there's two other elements I want to talk about, and that is the artist and business directory. And then I want to talk about shares. So as we review our total shareholder count and where our shares are at, we're more than 4,200 shareholders right now. So Gold Belt Inc. has grown, but our share base hasn't. That same original 272,200 shares exist. But one of the challenges that we found is 10,000 of those shares are no longer held by Alaska Native people. They're held by non-natives, or they're held by institutions like United Way or Red Cross or something like that. And those were all gifted by original shareholders who, when they passed, wanted to do something nice for someone or some entity. I think it's important for us to talk about the intent of ANCSA here. The Alaska Native Claims Settlement Act was meant to provide compensation for use of land and taking of land. And how do you reconcile that? Well, we know that shares in Native hands is the best way to honor that tradition and that agreement. And so we want to make sure shareholders are Alaska Native and that they are from Southeast. And so if you know people who are not Native and they're shareholders and they want to gift those shares to a family member that is Alaska Native, we really want to help encourage that. And if there's challenges to it, we want to help change the law to allow it to happen. Because I know that as we look to preserve the intent of ANCSA through our distributions to voting shareholders who are Alaska Native people, we want to make sure that everybody works to create that intent, honor that intent, and benefit the people that ANCSA was built for, you. Let's go to the next slide, please. So one of the things that we're doing leading into our 50th anniversary is creating this business and artist directory. One thing that we can do is work together to help each other achieve success. And Gold Belt Inc.'s job is to create an environment, an ecosystem that allows you to achieve your professional goals and dreams. And if you're a small business owner, if you're an artist, we'd like to see you on this list. We want you to work with each other. We want you to work with us, and we want to work with you. So it allows our procurement process to be more inclusive and provide options to shareholders who want to do work, and allows us to build capacity. I think the really cool thing about what we can do is help each other build experience and build that level of knowledge and professionalism in Southeast and beyond, and allow shareholders to flourish and build the lives that they choose to live. And I'm excited for this directory, and I look forward to seeing more people participate and allowing us to grow and really use this as a foundation for everyone's success. Next slide, please. So there are some important dates coming up. Of course, tomorrow is the most important short-term one. It's the last day to change your address or update your banking information for that November dividend. So if you haven't already done it, please log into mygoldbelt.com, call the office, the headquarters office in Juneau, make sure that you get your information updated. We want to make sure we can give direct deposits without any challenge, and I think that's going to go very well. Of course, On November 10th, the headquarters office is closed for Veterans Day. Veterans Day is on Saturday, and it's a federal holiday. And we're super excited to recognize veterans. Veterans are very important to our company. And then November 15th, we have a scholarship deadline for the spring semester only. So make sure that you talk with your young people about participating in that. And then November 22nd, just before Thanksgiving, just before Black Friday and all the deals, the distribution will be delivered. And then the corporate headquarters is closed for Thanksgiving. And then, of course, December 13th, we have a Unity Group holiday, Christmas dinner, and fair in Juneau at Centennial Hall. And now that Centennial Hall is renovated, you'll see us using that and really getting back into our cadence of in-person meetings where we can share, fellowship, and really lift each other up and celebrate all that we have to celebrate in Juneau. Next slide, please. And then, of course, in 2024, Gold Belt turns 50. January 4th is going to be a 50th birthday celebration in Juneau. We are actually filing the permits to shut down the street in front of headquarters. We're going to have a big party. It's going to be awesome. We'll raise some totem poles, and it's going to be a really cool celebration to be a part of. We look forward to seeing everybody here, and I know that there's going to be a lot of fun pieces and elements of the 50th anniversary year that you'll be able to participate in, whether it's hearing the stories from the people and the elders that created Gold Belt, what you know today, and then just seeing each other and looking to the future and seeing where Gold Belt will be in another 50 years. We are a forever company, and we stand on the shoulders of our elders and of our ancestors. And it's very powerful to know that Gold Belt can do great things because of what the foundation was laid for us and how it was laid for us. We'll have opportunity meetings where we'll be able to get together in January, February, and we want to really know and promote, what you want to do, what type of benefits matter to you, and then the opportunities that you might have through Gold Belt for the coming year. We have tons of jobs in Juneau that we're having a tough time filling. Seasonal jobs, long-term jobs. We want to be able to offer those up to shareholders and get as many people participating, and descendants, of course, as many people participating in Gold Belt as possible. Next slide, please. And so I talked to you about veterans and how important they are to us. We hire a lot of veterans at Gold Belt Inc. Because they are mature professionals with unique skills who are dedicated to serving our country and serving the company, producing results for shareholders. And you can see that 17 Gold Belt subsidiaries were awarded Vets Hire medallions from the U.S. Department of Labor. We received the highest award as Platinum Award, and that's very special to us. We are a great place for veterans to work. We honor their service, and we allow them to contribute to the company, or to the community and the company, beyond their uniform service. Next slide, please. And we can't say it enough. We want to thank all Gold Belt shareholders and staff who have served our nation. We have many veterans that work in the headquarters office, and it's always great when we have our in-person meetings to see the veterans stand up in the audience from all branches of service. You do a great job, and you help build a strong community by showing us what right looks like. So keep up the good work, and we're so thankful for your service to our nation. Let's go to the next slide, please. Let's talk about the winners. We've got some door prize winners to announce. All right, the door prize winners are Deborah Jean Knott, Teresa Charles, Olivia Katzik, Desmona Stavek, I hope I said that correctly, and Talon Medema. There you go. The names are running on a scroll below me on the screen. That is terrific. And also we'll put that up on social media as well. Congratulations to our door prize winners, all 5 of you. You'll receive $100, and we're super happy about that. So let's go to Q&A. I know we've got some questions that are coming in, and I'm very happy to read about that. So we've got a couple of them. One person, thank you, Desmona, said, how's the baby? Well, I have a 10-month-old baby at home, a baby girl, and it is incredible. I've got to give a lot of praise to my wife. She, of course, as you know, as the mamas out there know, you're the ones that hold it all together. And it's no different in our household. My wife is doing an amazing job being a mother, and it's just it's so rich now in life being a parent. And I always say to other parents, like, so you've been keeping this from all the single people or all the people without children. You've been keeping this joy from us. You need to share it more openly, and it's pretty awesome to see all of the joy and participate with other parents and the ups and downs of being a parent and watching your child learn and grow through all the things. So thank you for asking, Desmona. So I've got a couple things here. We've got questions about land use status in the RFP. Ventura, thanks a lot for writing in. I'm happy you asked about that. We had a tough time getting a response to that. So the board of directors asked us to come up with a master plan for all of Gold Belt land. We have tons of ideas on how to develop and where to put certain topics or developments, but that could be in conflict with some future activity. So we really need a seasoned, master plan land use development company to help us with that. And we believe we've found somebody. We got an application. We haven't hired them yet. We're going to interview them and make the hire. But we're pretty excited about bringing on a company that is a native-owned company that has worked with reservations and tribes in the lower 48, as well as Alaska Native corporations and tribes in Alaska. So they, I think, will better understand what we need and why we need it, and understand the traditional values and how they relate to the Western values and how we can maximize land development for the future. So I think that's going to be a couple-year process, Ventura. It's something that we're all going to have to work on together to really get the best comprehensive plan possible. So the next question was, why did the revenue dip? And I think this is really good. And so when you looked at the slide that showed net income and gross revenue, we made about $180 million in one-time sales for COVID response. That was needles and syringes and COVID test kits. And we knew that business was not sustainable. It wasn't year-over-year income or revenue. And so when that contract ended, we were working very hard to replace that revenue with reoccurring services revenue, reoccurring services contracts. And that's high margin, high skill work. And we were able to do that. We've gotten about half of that revenue replaced in 2022. And we're up to about 3/4 of it replaced through 2023. And we expect to be near that high $400 million mark in 2024, looking to almost replace all of those one-time sales, which is tremendous growth for us, because that is recurring services contract that we can count on year over year to build a dependable business for Gold Belt. And you saw that our revenue dipped and our income dipped, but our income didn't dip as much. And that's really cool, because as we filled that gap with services contracts, it's higher margin. And so we've been able to make more money from a smaller amount of contracts because of that mixture of our business going forward. And that's really exciting for shareholders. So we have a couple other questions. Norma Wilson asked also, will there be housing opportunities? And yeah, I mean, there are. The board has asked us to explore ways to add value to housing in the community, not to take existing housing and to repurpose it and take it out of long-term residential use, but to improve value in buildings that are currently underutilized. And so we're looking at options for that. And perhaps will there be housing opportunities on Gold Belt land? I don't know. We'll see what all the options are as they come out through the master planning process. It may be that we don't have any housing on Gold Belt land. It may be that there's strategic housing only for shareholders. We're not quite sure how that'll come out, but we look forward to updating you as we go through the planning process. I think it's going to be very exciting. Deborah Knott asked, what's going on with the ski resort? Well, we invested in that revenue sharing agreement with the gondola, and they're going through all of the permitting and construction company selection process right now. And we look forward to having a groundbreaking ceremony when contractors hired and all the permits are released. We anticipate construction happening through 2024 and then into 2025 with the gondola spinning and customers going through in the summertime in 2025. And that'll be pretty exciting because our revenue sharing agreement is guaranteeing us at least doubling our money. And we expect it to be much greater than that. We'll be actively engaged in participating at Eagle Crest to build that business, to maximize our income from that investment. And I can't wait to see it be successful and see how we can help serve the community by offering more options, but also to spread out that tourism impact. As more cruise ships come to Juneau, more people want to participate in fun Juneau activities, but we can't have them all bottled up in one area. It's not something that our community members like, and it's not something that, I think that the visitors will enjoy. So if we offer them more opportunities to spread out, we can serve more people, and Gold Belt Inc. makes more money, and people are happier all the way across the board, and that's great for us. Another question. So Bev Mills says, hey, did I hear that right? Did I say 7 eyes going away? Yeah, so I'm saying you heard it right. And, I think it's important for us to acknowledge where 7 Eye comes from. And right now, the Red Dog Mine is on Angsa land under Nana's ownership in Kotzebue. And that's scheduled to go off of native land production in 7 years. And that's the major contributor to the 7 Eye money. We don't have another project lined up across the state that's going to contribute. And so as we look to see how natural resources are developed, those elements are important. And so there may be some contributions, but not the size that you are receiving and expecting today. And it's responsible for us to acknowledge that. And your board has done a great job. Even though it doesn't impact our business, it impacts you. And we're helping to fill that gap and make sure that Gold Belt shareholders have reliable benefits, regardless of the other effects or developments around the state. Let's go to another question. Laura Revels asks, is it possible to change the law where only shares can stay with shareholders and families? It's not. And that's it'd be very difficult for us to go in and change Angsa. And I think when you open up a law like that in Congress, you open up the opportunity for people who maybe aren't on your team or aren't your supporters to make changes as well. So I think the best thing for us to do is really to raise awareness and talk to our friends and loved ones and say, hey, let's honor the intent of Angsa and keep shares in Alaska Native hands. So we really do keep that benefit where it was intended to be. Another question that we got is, what's the total amount of shares altogether? And yeah, it was 10,000 in non-native hands. So the total amount of outstanding shares at Gold Belt Inc. is 272,200. Those are the original shares from creation of Gold Belt 50 years ago. And just about 10,000 of those shares are in non-native hands. And so, you can't retrieve those. You can't claw them back. They have to be gifted to a family member in a way that is allowable under law. And I think that's important for us to know. So we have to work together to educate everybody and make sure that they stay in native hands. And we want to work with entities that have them, that want to contribute them back to the intent that Angsa meant for them. And that is to be held by Alaska Native people to receive those benefits. So we're trying to do our part, and we need your help to raise awareness and make sure that people can come together to do what's right for our community. Another question that I have from Leah Williams. Hi, Leah. She said, I heard there's a new shareholder open enrollment going on this month. Is that true? So I think I'm interpreting this correctly. You're asking, is there new shareholders being brought into Gold Belt? And if that is your question, the answer is no. It's very important for you to understand that we have not added another class of share, that Gold Belt Inc. is preserving the value of the existing share. And as the board of directors meets and discusses benefits with management, the value of the share is important. How do you provide value to shareholders today and provide value to shareholders tomorrow? Gold Belt is for everyone who was, who is, and will be. I mean, that's the definition of forever. So we have not added new shares. We have not diluted the value of your share. And I think it's important for you to know that your directors are very focused on making sure that we keep that value strong. I'm super excited to answer questions, and I really love talking to everybody. And even if we're not in person and we do the webcast, I look forward to seeing you in person and being able to answer questions one-on-one. When I see you in the store or out at the hockey rink or in the gym or on the trails, I love hearing from you, and I love talking to shareholders. It's really fun. Thank you for everything you do to make our community vibrant and successful. It's a pleasure to work for you, and I really enjoy being able to give you these tremendous business results. We don't have any other questions, so we're about in that half-hour time frame, and I want to thank you for taking your time. We have about 75 shareholders online right now, and I really like being able to reach out to you and you reaching out to us. Have a wonderful Thanksgiving, a wonderful Veterans Day weekend. Thank you all, veterans, for your service. And it's a pleasure to see you and speak to you and give you this update today. Talk to you soon.